Hello, guys. Welcome to the United Man. Now, wanted to try and get a video out beforehand in regards to some of the transfer dealings going on, but I've been having an absolute nightmare with my connecting it to the internet. So, apologize if I've missed some comments or haven't replied to some comments as well. You guys know I do try and reply to every single comment as well. So, and keep them coming, much appreciated. Looks to be sorted now. So, any comments that I have missed, I will certainly get back onto. Right. So, get your questions in, guys. Got laptop set up. Yeah, really wanted to touch on everything that's going on, or as the case may be, not going on with our transfer window so far. Okay, so wanted to start with, in fact, before I start that, guys, who's in the stream? Let me know who's in the stream, just so I know. We got Robert, uh, Kiwanuka, Jalen Klopper. Who else we got? Got Udi Pillay. Right, let's start with Dybala then. Jalen, your question. So, unfortunately, with Dybala, now it was widely reported in the Italian press, especially with Bas, hello, Mo, hello, Akram, hello. Yeah, it was widely reported in the Italian press, basically that we were in, obviously, for Dybala. Everyone knows that. We obviously put out a contract to him. Again, everyone knows that. But where we actually reached with the Dybala deal was that he was playing silly buggers, is in all honesty. He was asking for astronomical wages. I have been reporting that from since there was any kind of links that he was asking for silly wages. So it's not a surprise that, you know, when he did actually formally request massive wages, but what the surprise I think probably was the issue with his image rights and what they was probably asking for his agent. Now I don't know what those specific details are, but yeah, I know that was the breaking point on that one, which is a real shame because if I'm honest with Dybala, yeah, I think that would have put us close to, not quite over the edge, but close to. And by that, I mean in terms of, you know, shaking up things within the top three and top two, hopefully. But for us to make an impact on the top two, for me, we would have had to added Bruno Fernandes or someone of that ilk, and also Dybala, because Dybala, let's be honest, is world class. So yeah, for me, we would have had to add people like that to really try and get anywhere near Liverpool and City, and then we'd probably need another that full season, this season coming, to adapt them all. Let's see what the comments are saying, guys. Okay, so we're going through Dybala. United needs to get Bruno Fernandes. Udi, mate, I completely agree with you, but at this point, I will touch on Bruno Fernandes in a moment, but yeah, it's not looking likely in terms of him coming to us. But I will get into it in a moment. Abysmal so far, says Mo. Bass, hello. Raheem from what's DK? Where's that from? Roman. Akram, Edris, tell me the latest about the transfer. Which transfer are you after, Akram? Udi says he needs to get Dybala or Bruno Fernandes. Now, at this stage, as I was just mentioning, in terms of Dybala, I don't think that one's going to happen. If I'm completely honest, at this juncture, anyway, I'll be very surprised if the Dybala deal happens. I think he come out and he then relinquished some of his demands the day after, or sorry, Monday it was. He relinquished some of his wage demands, but I think it's possibly too little, too late. Not only that, obviously Patrice Evra put on obviously a message on Twitter, and Dybala liked it. Obviously, some of the United fans have jumped on that, but what does that mean? He liked the fact that Evra's basically stating what it takes to play for Manchester United, and obviously saying that the money men it will never be a bank for the money men at Manchester United, which I completely agree with. But that being said, Dybala liked that post. Does that mean anything? I really don't know. I hope it does, because like I say, Evra had his trophies lying in front of a picture of himself and what he'd won with Man United, and saying obviously, you know, money man, it will never be a bank for the money man at Man United, which is good, I suppose. Dybala liking that post, but does that mean anything? I don't know. Well, let's continue on with the comments anyway. Okay, let's go back. Sup man, love your channel. Appreciate it, bro. Guys, we're on till probably about, I don't know, probably about 8 o'clock. We'll see how it goes. What I did want to do is keep an eye on any breaking stories. So if you guys pick up anything whilst we're in the live stream, let me know. I'll check it off as well, and we'll discuss that whilst here also. Okay, because they were thinking about trading Lukaku for him. United must get Bruno and Dybala. Bruno Fernandes and Dybala again. Who do you want? If I'm honest, my choice, if I had a choice, would be, at this point in time, I'd prefer Christian Eriksen, namely because he is Premier League proven. He's done the job. He is what he is. He's the main creator in the Premier League and has been since he's been with Tottenham, or one of the most. I think he's got the most assists since he's been in the league. Since he's been with Tottenham. So for me, he knows the Premier League. He knows what it's about. At this point and where we are, if, for example, you would ask me that question 4 weeks ago, I would have said Bruno. If we had the same options in front of us, i.e., Bruno Fernandes or Christian Eriksen, I would have then said Bruno Fernandes. But because we have so little time left now in regards to getting anything done or getting any of the deals done, for me, if we was to sign one of those two now, for me, it'd have to be Christian Eriksen, purely because it's more than likely going to be a seamless transition from him moving from Spurs to United, rather than getting Bruno Fernandes in, trying to get him to adapt to everything that we're doing here, the culture, the country. Christian Eriksen already knows all of that stuff. But as I say, we're going to get onto that as well. Just wanted to touch on that Eriksen deal as well. For me, if there was a deal to happen, it would, in terms of what's the most likely, I'd believe it'd be the Christian Eriksen deal. Reason being is because as I say, he's in this country. Things in terms of acting smoothly and being a seamless transition from club to club, that's the easiest one to do. But in terms of where we are, in terms of how advanced we are with some of the transfers, we're probably most advanced with the Bruno Fernandes deal, with a personal terms being agreed a while back, and then in principle, a deal being agreed in principle. But again, I reiterate, you guys will know by now, I think he is or was a B choice for us. If he ever wasn't A choice, then I think we're out of order in terms of how we've been dealing with this deal for Bruno Fernandes. I don't think he was ever a one choice for us, but there you go. Guys, we've got 27 people watching at the moment. Let's see if we can get those likes up for everyone that's in the stream, please. Let's go back to the comments before I move on. Thoughts about Harry Maguire? Jaden Jennings says, Maguire, I think that's a fantastic signing for us. Likewise with Wan-Bissaka, I think, or Wan-Thuram, as me and my mate coined the term. I think Harry Maguire, like I said, I was saying in my last stream, I believe, give it a season, he'll probably be club captain. He's a leader, he's an organiser. Positionally, he's very, very good. In the air, he's brilliant. He's great at standing up tackles and timing of the challenges. For me, Harry Maguire is an absolutely fantastic signing for us, and we've been crying out for a player like Maguire for so long, and I'm really pleased that we've signed him. And as some of you guys would have seen on my community feed on YouTube, I'd put down what would be your favoured centre back pairing. I'd put down Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Rio, and also our most recent Lindelof and indeed Harry Maguire. And it's quite tight actually in regards to who you guys have chosen. I think we've got, you guys are going with Vidic and Rio at the moment, but Maguire and Lindelof are close behind and they've not even played together yet. So that kind of shows the confidence that we've got in obviously Lindelof's performances from last season and obviously from what we've seen from Harry Maguire both for England and Leicester so far. Let's continue on in the comments then, guys. Oh, Denmark. Remen said Denmark. Sorry, welcome from Denmark. Okay. I think it is not about who we want, but who is willing to come to us. And that's a good point. But we also need to have a balance of what we need for me, it's got to be our starting 11. I mean, we've got tons and tons and tons of squad players and obviously youth players being available to us. But for me, we've got to go through. Also, like you said, we've got to whoever we're signing, they've got to want to be part of Manchester United. They've got to want to be part of the ethos, part of the if you like, the history. You can't just come to Man United and be like, oh yeah. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this. No, as Fergie said, no one player is bigger than the club for me, and that's the attitude that the players that we bring in. They have to have that. Okay. Let's have a look. United will finish second in the Premier League. I don't know about that one. I like the confidence though. Do you think we will replace Lukaku? Good question. I don't. If I'm honest, I don't. I know we've been linked with Mandzukic and personal terms were apparently agreed, but at this juncture we've got what? Look how long it's taken us to get 3 deals in. Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire. Look how long because of well, I suppose you should just Woodward trying to haggle again. But we've tried this long and now we're apparently going to try and get 2 more deals over the line by the end of play tomorrow. I can't see it. Right off this season and play Gomez and Greenwood. For those of you that's been watching my stream a long time, you'll know how I feel about Mason Greenwood and Angel Gomez. For me, those guys are the next big thing, not just coming from Manchester United. I'm talking the next big thing. So that's for club and country. So we're talking doing bits in the Premier League, doing bits in Europe as well. For me, those two, I believe if given the opportunity, they could be world class and, being ever present like Scholesy was, like Giggsy was, those kind of guys. I believe they're the next up and coming things, given the opportunities. I believe Greenwood will get the opportunities more so than Angel Gomez. But who knows, if we don't sign any players between now and tomorrow, that may be a blessing in disguise. Not so much for Mason Greenwood, because I believe he'd get his opportunities anyway, but more so for Angel Gomez. Udashin. Okay. Panorama Speaks. If you need a moderator for your chats, please let me know. I'll help you out. Probably will do. It's only my second live feed actually, so yeah, I probably will do. Okay. Right, so Merrick says, so does that mean now that Lukaku is gone, does that mean we're going to get a replacement or go all out for Bruno Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes at this point, now we're seeing reports saying that he's agreed terms with Spurs. Those are reports coming more from Portugal than they are UK media. And sometimes you have to take the Portuguese reports with a pinch of salt. I mean, they were the ones that were pretty much keeping the Bruno Fernandes deal alive through that last few days, where the British media was saying that the deal's completely done through Simon Stone and Manchester United's links as well. So for me, Bruno Fernandes, it's been worrying because for me, if for example, if Bruno Fernandes turns up at Spurs and Dybala turns up at Spurs, both players. So, for example, Dybala, we could sign if we wanted, if we really, really wanted to, we could go out and sign Paulo Dybala. If we really, really wanted to, we could go and get him. Bruno Fernandes, likewise. Bruno Fernandes, I feel for the guy because it's been completely obvious, been blatantly obvious that Bruno Fernandes wants to come to Manchester United. He wants to play in the Premier League 100%. But whether at this moment in time, as we stand here right now, if he still wants to come to Manchester United, I don't know. I strongly believe he wanted to come to Manchester United. Manchester United was his preference. That was above City and all them guys. But for me, at the moment, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I doubt we're going to press on for Bruno Fernandes. Okay. Sam says, where is Rom going to end up? At this moment, Sam, it looks like Lukaku's going to end up at Inter. I know Juventus are looking at, obviously, Tottenham, Spurs do get Dybala because they've accepted an offer from Spurs for Dybala. If Spurs get Dybala, then Juve will be looking to use that money to get Lukaku. But at the moment, obviously, reports are coming in saying that, excuse me, that Inter has put through a massive deal for Lukaku, totaling 77 million. That's 65 up front and 12 in add-ons. So, excuse me. At the moment, it's looking like Inter. Terry says the rebuild was never going to start and finish in this window. We don't have the pulling power needed to attract world-class players. Terry, that's a great point, and very honest point. We don't have the pulling power that we used to. Now, on my last live stream, I was saying that fact that, unfortunately, world-class players, most of them reside outside of England or are not from England, and their perspective on Manchester United right now is not of we are the Man United of old, the great Manchester United. We have been living off our name from previous years, but at the moment, we're not that team anymore. Guys, we've got 44 people in the stream at the moment. Much appreciated for you watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button as well. But yeah, as Terry said, the rebuild isn't going to start and finish within this transfer window, which is important to remember. It's a good start if we sign a midfielder, central midfielder to go alongside Paul Pogba. Because not forgetting, in a couple of my videos, I was saying in regards to one of the positives to Paulo Dybala coming to Manchester United is he's a very good mate of Paul Pogba. And if we sign Paulo Dybala, do you not think that's going to make an impact on Paul Pogba actually wanting to stay? Because we're showing intent. We're showing not what we're saying, doing all that. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're proving our intent on where we're going to be and where we want to be. So for me, yeah, Dybala kind of could serve a couple of purposes. Like I say, putting us close to that, top 3, top 4, and also being an anchor for Paul Pogba to stay with Manchester United. Because for me, if you look at Paul Pogba, when he's on his game, he's world class, and our only world class outfield player at the moment. I say that at the moment because for me, Wan-Bissaka is going to show people, listen, he's not to be trifled with. So yeah, let's get back to the comments. Okay. Oh gosh, it jumped. Let's have a look. What Palmero says, what do you think about these Inaki Williams rumours? So now I watch La Liga a fair bit to have an opinion on a good majority of Spanish league players. Inaki Williams, for me, no, he's not what we'd need. For me, he's in the mould of a Rashford, of a Martial. He's probably a little bit more consistent at the moment, but no, definitely not what we need. We've got players of the same ilk across that whole front line. Greenwood now joining onto that one. Obviously, Daniel James is a little bit more direct than Martial and Rashford, but we've got quite a few players that are very, very similar in how they play and how they work the game. So for me, Inaki Williams is, in terms of how far we are, I don't think there's too much in that one, or at least I hope there isn't. But for me, that's not a player we need. For me, the reports of Mandzukic being off the bench player, 33-year-old experienced guy, he's used to that pressing style of play that we play. He works very hard, has very good stamina. He is someone that is good with changing. He holds up the ball, brings players in, something that we was crying out for from Lukaku, but he didn't have the technical ability to do. For me, Mandzukic would be much better suited for us purely because of the style that we play, and also as a different option because we have so many players that are of the same ilk. If we need to go to a plan B or a plan C, for example, and we've got the same players, how do you change up the system if we don't have someone of a different technical ability or different physical ability? If we wanted to change it up, we need something different as well as a plan B. Going back to it, we have heard rumours of United wanting Llorente from Spurs. He's listen, if we could get Llorente for a couple of mil, I wouldn't say no. Again, he's a physical presence, fantastic in the air, great at holding the ball up. I wouldn't say no to that type of deal. Spending a couple of mil, 2 or 3 mil on a player that can, like I say, in the dying embers of a game, change up. I wouldn't say no to that type of deal. He knows he's not going to be playing, 10 games a season, and he's happy with that. So for me, I wouldn't be adverse to that. Okay. Don't kill us, Zambia supporters. Sign another midfielder. Yeah, as I've said already, we do need another central midfielder. Sam says, "Are you a Star Wars fan?" I am indeed, Sam, a Star Wars fan, as you can probably tell from the t-shirt, my Darth Vader t-shirt. Okay, we have. Let's go to Jeremy Sukdar. Do you think we would sign Bruno Fernandes and a striker? And if so, who's a striker you think we would sign? Well, I don't believe at this point we are going to be able to get Bruno Fernandes over the line. We should have had some more reports coming in before now if we were due to get Bruno Fernandes. And as I was just touching on there, you would have heard me talking about Llorente and indeed Mandzukic. Mandzukic would be my preference purely because he's completely different to what we have, completely different to Martial, Rashford and Greenwood. So he'd be my preference, and he doesn't expect to start. That's the other thing. We've got Greenwood who needs to develop, so he's going to have to start games. Albeit we've got tons of Europa League games, we're going to have League Cup and FA Cup, so we're going to have more than enough games to go around. But someone who's at the twilight end of their career in Mandzukic, he's 33, he's not going to be expected to start loads and loads of games. So we need those kind of players. Guys, we have 40 people in the stream at the moment. Thank you very much. Don't forget to smash that like button as you're in. What we really need is Ruben Neves. Okay, or even Doucouré from Watford. That's a brilliant shout. Now, I'm a big Ruben Neves fan. From those who know me personally, I'm not really mentioning it too much on the videos because there's been no link to him. I'm reporting what's been reported and giving my opinions based on that. But yeah, I'm a big, massive Ruben Neves fan. But Watford, listen, Watford and Leicester, as we finished last season, they've improved, obviously, and they're going to be close on our heels. So they're not going to be selling to us. Likewise, we had to, give an arm and a leg to get Harry Maguire off Leicester. So yeah, unfortunately, as much as I'd like those players, and I agree, Ruben Neves is a very good player. I doubt we'd have to then pay in excess to try and get those players away from those clubs. Okay, Terry says, in regards to your Pogba views, for me, Man United should not be showing Pogba we have intended. He should be showing United is worth 90 mil, and that both can actually wants to play for our midfield. Yeah, another good point. me and Terry go back on the Pogba stuff. I believe, so does Terry actually believe he is world class when he pulls it off, but the inconsistency with Pogba creates so much frustration amongst United fans, understandably. But yeah, he should be showing that he wants to work for the badge. He knows the club. Don't forget, he was here from since what was he 14 from Le Havre in France. So he knows the club. He knows the ethos. He knows what we're about. So yeah, he should be fighting for the badge. Yeah, I was seeing his stats and they aren't anything special. We need a 20+ goal season striker. Absolutely. That's the other point I was making, and to quite a few people actually, that where's the goals going to come from? Been kind of doing if you like, just a rough sketch of how we're going to actually perform in terms of goals. Now, I was saying, if Rashford, bearing in mind Rashford got 13 goals in total last season, we need that in the league. We need 15 in the league from Rashford. We need another, hopefully 15 from Martial in the league. I don't see it coming. We've not had the evidence to show that they're going to be contributing those type of numbers in terms of goals. Now, if we get 15 from Martial, 15 from Rashford, another 10 from Pogba, say, another 10 from someone else. We need another 10 from someone else, and then the numbers can trickle down from 5 to 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, and then you're getting close to 60+ goals. We haven't since Fergie's left. We haven't gone past the 70 goals in the season threshold. So that tells you how dire we've been since Fergie's left. Haven't scored 70 or more goals since Fergie's left. Not good enough. So for me, yeah, we do need that, and that's why for me, Mandzukic, albeit he isn't that 20 goal a season guy, he will come in and he will have a massive impact. I believe he's both technically gifted and physically gifted, and he works his backside off, and that's the kind of formation we're going to be playing this season, as we all know. So for me, he's a good addition. We need a CDM ASAP. We can't play Matic. Listen, I think McTominay and Matic are pretty much going to share that role this season. Even McTominay, he's still unproven, but he's more athletic than Matic, which isn't very athletic at all. So that kind of tells you where we're at in that position. I believe, yes, we do need a CDM. However, that position can kind of be masked, because for me, whoever's playing that CDM position, they're pretty much going to be just the anchor. That's going to be the anchor man in the team. Going to be the water carrier. Just going to be recycling stuff coming from the defense, and or just sitting in front of that D and cleaning up, screening. So for me, it's not a priority position. Although I agree we do need to look at upgrading it. Let's see how that goes this season for me, with Matic and McTominay looking to do a dual role there. For me, it's more the CM centre mid position next to Pogba that is absolutely more crucial to what we're trying to do. We do not keep or hold possession good enough for me. We really don't. So we'll have teams like Leeds, for example, having 47 or 48% possession against us. We should be dominating possession, 65, 60 at least against those type of teams. We give up the ball way too often. However, that being said, I do believe Solskjaer's style of play will lend itself to what we're trying to do this season. It will lend itself to us getting and nicking a few goals, but I still don't believe that's going to be enough. I still believe we're going to be a ways off City and Liverpool, so we're going to need a bit more. Let's go back to it then. You really think Mandzukic has something left to offer? That's from Go Optimus. Yes, I really do. You have to look at the balance of the team as well, I believe. You can't just have, for example, Rashford has been paid like a proper number 9, like a 25 league goal a season guy. He's now been put into that genre of, right, I'm that guy, I'm the go-to guy, without really proving anything yet. Yes, he's stepped up, he's been progressing, he's been proving, but he's always had that person in front of him to rely upon. He had Lukaku the last few couple of seasons to rely on. Lukaku's obviously out the door now, pretty much. So he's going to have to be that guy. Don't get me wrong, it's been encouraging in pre-season, but for me, I struggle to see where we're going to get. So, for example, we're going to need off the bat, we're going to need 20 goals from Rashford to get anywhere near, for me, the top four. We're going to need 10 to 15 goals from Martial again. So that's them two players that have a lot of pressure on them. So yeah, I'm really struggling to see where we're going to get our goals from. That's why I believe Mandzukic can make a difference, can make an impact on our team for sure. I really do. As I say, plan B or plan C. Jeremy says Lukaku has gone to Inter Milan. Is that been confirmed, Jeremy? Guys, if you want to check that for me, I'll have a quick look as well as after I look through some of the comments. I don't think Matic will fit into Ollie's system. We'll need more pace up front. I think Aubameyang fits the system better and is much younger than Mandzukic. So, Jeremy, I agree with your comments there in terms of Aubameyang would fit that system. But again, it's going back to my point where we kind of need to change up what and who the personnel we have to be able to change a game effectively. We need different players of different personnel that play differently. For example, Juan Mata is completely different to Paul Pogba. He offers something slightly different. He offers those short, sharp, interchangeable passes in and around the edge of the area. He can unlock a defence with a through ball, for example, where Paul Pogba is, he can spray that 60-yard pass. He can do that half volley and scream into the top corner. They're completely different players that offer something different. So for me, I agree in terms of Aubameyang would fit our style, but I'm talking about if we need a plan B, if we need to go to something else or another go-to guy, and Rashford's not doing it, Martial's not doing it, Greenwood's not doing it, Daniel James not doing it. They're all a similar type of player, and that's a lot of speed that we've got up front. That's a heck of a lot of speed that we've got up there. Don't forget, so Martial's no slouch, Rashford's rapid, Daniel James is rapid, obviously. Mason Greenwood comes from a family of athletics. So yeah, all these guys, we've got a lot of speed up front already, so I don't think we'll be wanting for speed up front, if I'm honest. Okay, so Daniel Mensa says Board has given Ollie 100 million to sign players tomorrow. I've not heard anything in regards to that yet. Let's go back to, skipped a little bit. If we don't get a replacement for Lukaku, will Greenwood get more time on the pitch, as we will need him likely if Rashford and Martial get injured, if we don't have a proven goal scorer? That's from Marek. Yes is the answer, but I also believe he will still, even if Lukaku, for example, was to stay, or for example was to sign Mandzukic or whoever, I believe Greenwood, his minutes and game time, they've already had put a stamp on it. So, for example, I think after the third friendly game in pre-season, Ollie was saying that, look, Mason Green was in contention to start against Chelsea on Sunday. So for me, that kind of says where Greenwood is in Solskjaer's thoughts. So yeah, Greenwood, come what may, he'll get game time. He'll start games. It's more, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, it's more Angel Gomez are fearful in terms of, again, if we were to bring someone else in, or even if we don't, I think he'll struggle to get game time. What else we got? Ahmad Yusuf, I know we given up on Fred, but with a consistent game time, he may show us his worth. We have no other option. Okay, so Ahmad, I slightly agree with you there. That's 50-50 on that one. I believe that we do need to give Fred opportunities. In terms of starting, for example, the first league game, if I had a choice of giving Fred an opportunity and signing someone else, I'd go signing someone else all day long. But I agree with you that he needs this full season. So, for example, he'll need to start in, say, 15 games. Now, we're going to play well over 50 plus games this season with Europa League, League Cups and whatnot this season. So I believe he needs to start between 10 and 15 games over the season to exactly do that. Give him an opportunity to prove himself. Okay. Matic is too slow. Playing with McTominay. Yep. after some of the friendlies that I've seen, you know, where they've been on the pitch together, McTominay and Matic, no, that cannot happen at all. So yeah, no, no, them two cannot play together. I completely agree. Okay, what else we got? Um, Pam Harris. I'm just going through. Bear with me, guys. Now that we have Harry Maguire, we can rely on someone who can not only head and defend, but put the ball in the net, which we have been lacking. Yep, from crosses, corners, Harry Maguire is absolutely deadly. You've seen it for Leicester, you've seen it for England. Absolutely agree there. I think with the right service, Martial can get 20 plus, but I think Rashford is a 10 goal, 10 assist goals sort of guy. In my opinion, he lacks the clinical finishing. Yes and no. Yes, he does lack the clinical finishing, but in pre-season he's been showing that he's been working on stuff as well. Martial, excuse me, Martial is more naturally clinical than Rashford, but Rashford works better off the ball per se than Martial. Martial gets into more natural goal scoring positions and is a more natural goal scorer, and I believe has the capabilities to score more goals than Rashford. And I believe to that point that Martial should be that starting number 9 and Rashford should be starting off that left side. I know they'll interchange, they'll swap, but for me Rashford is more natural at chasing back and running back and more willing than Martial. So for me, you want to swap them two around in terms of their starting positions. Terry said, Shane, in your honest view, if it wasn't players like Bruno, Dybala, etc., would you like to see United buy players for the sake of it tomorrow before the window shuts, or would you be happy with what we have? Good question. So, so no. In terms of just signing players for the sake of signing players, wouldn't want to see it happen. So, for example, if it wasn't Christian Eriksen, or if it wasn't Bruno Fernandes, I wouldn't want to just see us go out and sign some unknown player or someone that we've not been scouting properly. If we've been scouting him properly for say last 3 months, and we've just somehow managed to keep it under wraps and no one's caught wind of it, which I very much doubt, then I'm all for that type of signing where they've been fully scouted, fully vetted. Their ability, their temperament, their characteristics is what Manchester United need. Then brilliant. I'd agree. Go with that. But for me, if it's not Eriksen or, for example, Bruno Fernandes, Dybala at this late stage, I'd still like to see that happen, if I'm honest. I still would. Although that'd be a very congested front line because you still get Alexis Sanchez, the forgotten man. You still got Mason Greenwood, Daniel James, who's a development project on his own. That's a lot of young bods there, and that's the other reason why I wanted Mandzukic on the squad, because he's the only experienced forward that would be on the squad. We have so many young players, and to get through a season, you need the experienced heads to try and take you through and bring you through as well. But I wouldn't just want to bring in someone for the sake of it. I'd much rather go with what we've got and give the likes of Angel Gomez, James Garner, and Teeth Chong, all them guys, give them opportunities like the likes of Europa League and that kind of thing. Where are we? Sadiq Rahman, we need Thomas Partey. He is a great anchor man, and we need Bruno. Thomas Partey, I agree, is a very good anchor man, but again, at this late stage, I really can't see it. I know Atletico Madrid were obviously listening to offers for him, but very, very, very late in the day, and I can't see us trying to shake up the midfield. It's more the position next to Pogba than behind Pogba that I believe definitely needs securing definitely. So, Jeremy, yes, it has been confirmed. Lukaku's deal has been agreed by Di Marzio today. Let's go and have a quick look on Sky Sports, see what we can see on that one. That'd be very interesting if that's the case, and indeed Lukaku's been confirmed. So far, I'm seeing Lukaku close to Intermove. Not seeing anything confirmed yet. Maybe that might break as we're on. Hopefully it does. And I'd like to see that one happen because I believe the Glazers and Woodward, in all their infinite wisdom, are playing for net value. So they're only wanting to spend now because we forked out on Harry Maguire, Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka. Now they're only wanting to spend if indeed we sell. That's what I believe the position that we're in. We're not wanting to buy anyone because we haven't sold anyone at the moment. So yeah, and I've seen a report of us turning down a loan offer for Chris Smalling earlier. I was like, why? Why are we turning down an offer for Chris Smalling when we've got Twinzabi ready to slot in next? Anyway, we should have offered Rooney the role that Derby have, proven goal scorer and leader, better than gambling on 34-year-old Mandzukic, in my view. Don't know if anyone would agree. Terry knows my views on this one because we was messaging the other day, but I'd prefer Mandzukic. For me, Rooney would come in and he'd demand playing time because he is indeed such a leader. You can't just sit Rooney on a bench and not play him in 1, 2, 3 games, 4 games. Whereas Mandzukic, he comes in, expectations are lowered. He knows he's not going to be starting or playing in some games. For me, you see Rooney on a bench and you're kind of itching. You got to get Rooney on. So for me, I'd want to stay away from Rooney as much as I love him. For me, Rooney's time has passed and gone at Man United, but I know Terry wants to see him back there. Did you watch the match between AC Milan and United? Matic gave the ball away too many times. Is too slow. Yeah, Matic, I don't know what's happened to him, man. When he first come from Chelsea and he came to us, he was absolutely immense, and we was like, that was the final piece of the jigsaw. That's it now. We're ready. And then after a couple of seasons, he's just completely died out. So I really don't know what's happened to Matic. I was a fan favourite of Matic, and I was happy when we signed him as well. So I'm surprised he is where he is at the moment. Guys, let me know if there is any breaking news as well. I'll check back on that Di Marzio story. I'm not seeing anything as of yet. Jeremy, where did you find it, by the way, that Di Marzio one? Was that on Italian News? Nicholas Watson, hi from Jamaica, Ireland and the Caribbean. Big respect, Nicholas. Much appreciated for you joining us. Saka says we need a sharp striker. Yeah. Again, I think it's in much of the agreement with everyone in here saying that we need a striker. I'll tell you what, guys. Other than Paulo Dybala, who would you want as a striker, as an alternative to Marcus Rashford and Martial? Who would you put in the comments? Who your alternatives would be if you could sign anyone? I suppose other than Dybala, because we're already linked with him. If you could sign anyone, let me know in the comments who you'd actually want to go for. Russ Vardo Simmons from the Caribbean supporting your channel. Big up Russ Vardo, appreciate that, bruv. Paramount Beats, I hear that, agree completely. Martial can seem lazy at times. Loud and in Nigeria, Saka, okay. Big respect for Nigeria. Nicholas Watson, yes, at Russ video. Dybala and Lo Celso are in final agreement talks to sign for Tottenham. Interesting. So I did have some bits written down about Tottenham actually, and their big boy movements. So yeah, they've gone for Lo Celso, Dybala, Bruno Fernandes and Coutinho apparently over the past 3 days. They've been linked to all them 4 guys. So they can only really sign one of them for the midfield that they've already got and who they've already got. Not forgetting they've got Ndombele as well. They can only really get one of those guys. And for me, Dybala is more of a forward than he is an attacking midfielder. And not forgetting they've still got Eriksen. And they've got, obviously, Harry Kane up top with, was it Son Heung-min, whatever his name is? What else we got? I'm worried that if we don't get a midfielder now and Paul Pogba suddenly goes to Real Madrid and or Juventus, we will be severely weak in midfield and no creativity. Marek, if I thought Man United and Woodward were that stupid, I would be worried also. I'm giving Woodward the benefit of the doubt here because it is very obvious, should we sell Pogba after the transfer window shuts, we're in big trouble, and we can kiss top four goodbye. We can kiss top six goodbye, in my opinion. Such is the influence of Paul Pogba when he plays. Yeah, I can't see us getting rid of Paul Pogba after the transfer window shuts, which is why I believe Real Madrid are hot on our heels trying to put a deal through. Yeah, I can't see that. I'll be very listen. If that was to happen, I really no. I can't see that happening. I'll be very very surprised. The news broke on Mark Goldbridge and the United Standard earlier today. Okay, I'm also from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. Big up the Caribbean following. I'd like to see us sign someone like Son. Listen, so, people like Son are few and far between. Hardworking, skillful, technically gifted, athletic, good personality, good character, very good finisher. Few and far between. Tottenham really do have a diamond in Son there, really do. Listen, I don't know. I really don't know of any other players like Son out there at the moment. He's probably one of the underrated players in and around the Premier League, if I'm honest. Just touching on Bruno Fernandes, though, there was reports, very strong reports of a 6-year deal being agreed with Bruno Fernandes, and there was reports of a deal agreed in principle in terms of a transfer fee also, but all's gone quiet on Bruno Fernandes. Apart from in Portugal, I should say. Portugal were still adamant. This was on Monday. Reports were surfacing. That was from Ojogo as well, and various other Portuguese news sources that I check on. And they were just adamant. They were saying that basically the deal hasn't collapsed. There's still every chance of the Bruno Fernandes deal happening. Manchester United are still in for him. There is no problem. So, yeah, again, I reported what the Portuguese press was saying at the time. And if you guys would have seen in some of my comments that I did like a 10 or 11 point information standpoint of where basically the reasons why the Bruno Fernandes deal is possibly still on and why I believe that. Just looked at the logistics of it all and looked at it logically and why I thought the Bruno Fernandes deal was still a possibility. But I've seen on some of the reports today, both from Italian sources and also Portuguese sources, that he's agreed personal terms with Tottenham, but has yet to reach an actual fee for between Spurs and Sporting. This deal, the Bruno Fernandes deal, it reminds me of I think it was Nicolas Gaitan back in the day from Benfica, and deals like that. It's just, and for all life of me, I really cannot see why. For example, so Liverpool were interested, Man City were interested, Real Madrid were apparently interested, but none of them made bids apparently. It's only ourselves and Spurs more recently. It's only been us all the way through. So there's something obviously with that Bruno Fernandes deal that I cannot get my head around, because for his performances, not only for his club but his country as well, you can clearly see his ability, not to mention his stats. Why there's not a lot more people, or haven't been a lot more people, interested in the guy? So yeah, very, very strange on the Bruno Fernandes front. Right, I think we'll call it a day there, guys. Much appreciated for watching. This is my second live stream, guys. Yeah, I did see that, Jeremy. In regards to Ollie will have 100 million to spend. I did see that one. Just had a look at that one. But again, how much is in that? United Boy TV looks like you just joined. Much appreciated. Yeah. If there is anything breaking between now and say, I don't know, 11, I'll probably jump back on if it's anything else worthwhile, for example. But keep engaged on my community feed on YouTube, because I'm starting to use that a bit more now, and I'll put some information on there. If you guys see stuff on there, again, hit me on there as well. But yeah, much appreciated, guys, and I shall see you a bit later. Who's in the comments still now? I think we'll sign Fernandes and the striker tomorrow. That's a lot in one day, Jeremy. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that, but that's a lot in one day. If that can happen, if that does happen, yeah. But as I say, guys, I'll probably be back on later. If something worthwhile breaks, I'll be back on. I'll be checking obviously on everything as the evening goes by. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? What that time when Real Madrid offering 20? Yeah, yeah. I did see that one. I did see that on Marek here as well. I think it was, yeah, 27.5 million, and James Rodriguez, and it was a bit of a joke, if I'm honest. Yeah, for Paul Pogba, yeah, that was a bit of a joke. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I shall catch you guys hopefully a bit later if there's some breaking news. If not, then I'll be back. In fact, let me know, guys. I'll put it on the community feed shortly what you guys are wanting from me. If you want me to just do a recorded video and drop it out there in terms of what's happened at the end of the day, say, or if you'd want me to go live a couple of times tomorrow, I'll put it out there in a community feed anyway, guys. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you joining me, guys, and I shall see you next time. Take care, guys. See you later.